Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I want to talk to you about why I'm going casual AF. Today's gameplay is mostly from a session that I did with Exclusive Ace for his return to the finals. I had a fantastic time playing with him and rarely have anything less than a fantastic time when I log into the finals. One of the things that you're going to notice about the gameplay today is that it's very average and not very hype, but I'm still going to report having an extremely fun time. This type of incongruency has led to a number of conversations with friends and family, and it got me thinking about a video that I made just a few months ago talking about struggling to find enjoyment from killing bots in multiplayer or in PvE games. The short version being that I have really competitive nature and that killing bots or AI or single-player experiences just didn't live up to the hype of playing against real people. But I asked for the audience's help, and a huge number of you left comments down below that were very supportive. I replied to a couple hundred of them, but most of them came in some flavor of, Drifter, you've got to figure out what you enjoy about gaming first. And then the second largest group of people leaving feedback were encouraging me to embrace the fantasy and role-playing elements of gaming instead of the competitive nature of it. And those two things combined turned out to be good advice because I think I found a solution to this problem with the finals, and hopefully this solution is present in other games as well. I haven't quite figured out the single-player games or PvE stuff yet, but I've at least got a bead on what I consider to be fun in multiplayer. And for the longest time, there were two things that I considered to be fun. Number one is competing against other players, other real, live, breathing, thinking human beings, and just embracing a sort of straight-up competitive nature. Competitive gaming, ranked grinds, getting good, mastering weapons, grinding unlocks, and things like that. The second thing is that I really valued having memorable experiences or cinematic moments in games. For example, like Gillies in the Mist from Call of Duty 4 was cinematic and very memorable, but in the Call of Duty franchise during Black Ops 2, I was also able to take advantage of the theater mode and do these mobility montages with dual Scorpions and make it look really cinematic and get the slow-mo dust flying and the bullets falling and hitting the ground in slow motion, and I found that incredibly fun to do in those old games. We'll briefly talk about number one and then talk quite a lot about number two, no puns intended, get your mind out of the gutter. I think I have a very competitive nature, and I generally love the spirit of competition, and I mean that in the most wholesome, positive way. It's not about winning, it's not about dragging your opponent down, it's about meeting other people that push you to do your best. And maybe it's a male psychology thing, but I always had a lot of fun striving to achieve my best when matched against skilled opponents. People that make me work for it are more satisfying to defeat than easy opponents. And I think that satisfying that drive for achievement and accomplishment, like planning, practicing, and then executing the strategy in a match when it really counts for my advantage, I really loved that. But unfortunately, due to my age and current disability, I can no longer be very competitive. Don't you guys worry, this isn't going to turn into a Drifter sob story video. I know I'm getting infamous for those, but the reality is that the time that I would need to put into practice in order to get good at most games is greater than the total amount of time that I have to play them. Like, I would be physically exhausted and unable to continue about halfway through a standard aim trainer exercise. So I have to play games using only my retained skills from previous games because there's no opportunity to practice and very little room for improvement. This makes it rather difficult to satisfy my competitive drive. I can only reasonably compete against low-skill enemies and have no opportunity to improve myself under these circumstances. So I have begrudgingly decided that perhaps competition is not what I should pursue, and instead I should be pursuing things like experiences, and oh boy, are experiences ever on the menu with games like the finals. But one thing you can do to upgrade your experience is having a good audio experience. I am sponsored by Logitech G, have been for years. They make great products, and I would highly recommend the brand new Logitech G522 headset. It's the one that I use to get all of the gameplay you're seeing here today on the finals. It's got a fantastic microphone, shockingly high quality microphone, and it's currently my favorite PC headset. You'll find a coupon code and links down there below in the description. But now let's move back out of audio experiences and into in-game experiences. I grew up watching a lot of age-inappropriate movies, and thanks to that, I still to this day have a love of cinema. Most of you have probably seen some of my criminally underrated movie reviews like these, but that passion hasn't gone away. Matter of fact, it might have always been there because when I was a child, I used the home VHS cameras to make home movies, and I started doing YouTube months after it came out with my cheap little Walmart digital camera. So throughout the course of my life, capturing and sharing cinematic moments is as fun for me as it is to experience them firsthand. Honestly, that's probably where all of the passion and drive to make YouTube videos come from, and it's an itch that I can scratch in a game like the finals. It doesn't have to be the finals, this applies to plenty of other games as well, but I feel satisfied when I get one really big fun moment per match. If I'm going to put 15 minutes into a game, then at least 3 to 5 seconds of that game should be extremely hype and memorable for me. There's just something about how my brain works that remembers and cherishes all the little details of big, exciting moments, like that moment when you hit somebody with a cross-map throwing knife that was actually planned, or doing a 360 no-scope off a tower and nailing an enemy sniper across the map, or even just novel single-player experiences like playing the dog Riley in Call of Duty Ghost. There's just something big and unforgettable once you do it. It's also what makes it quite easy for me to open up gameplay from weeks ago and immediately identify the spots that I need in order to extract clips from. I just sort of naturally remember the flow of everything so well because it was so important for me. And I'll give you an example of this. This is gameplay of my first game using the dagger in the finals. Truly the memeiest, jokiest, trolliest, wildest, weirdest weapon. And I even used my multi-bucks to buy the smallest, goofiest, most hilarious dagger skin in the shop, which was the ultra tiny knife. I would even call it a knife for ants. It reminds me of the ultra tiny Calibri pistol from Battlefield 5. So I took out my knife for ants and managed to stab a few people in the back and get a few kills, and then was able to still hit that hilarious inspection animation from it. Were these moments the greatest dagger plays of all time? Should they be in a montage? Should I be joining FaZe Clan? Absolutely not. Objectively, they're very average, but they were extremely memorable and fun for me. I had a lot of fun playing the dagger. I enjoyed getting that experience, and I remember exactly how it unfolded in my head in a very positive way. So while I may not be the world's best at the dagger, and I may not have even racked up very many kills with it, I do still distinctively remember enjoying using it and the fun of killing a person, a real live breathing human being, with a tiny knife for ants. This is actually something that's been kind of right in front of my face the entire time I've been making videos about the finals, and just in general over the last 6 months. In my attempts to proselytize for this game, I told all of you that I enjoyed big cinematic moments, and that every match had at least one cool thing happening. I'd also talked with J-Hub about this, and he asked why I appear to be having more fun than my gameplay would indicate, because let's be honest guys, it's pretty average. And the answer is simply that I like really big, impactful moments in gaming. They may not be a constant dopamine hit, but when they do hit, I really feel it. And there isn't a guarantee that you get a hype moment like that every single game, but as long as a game can provide me with something relatively cool at a frequency greater than about once per 20 minutes, I'm probably going to be quite happy with it. So using this information, I've been rethinking multiplayer in general, and also rethinking how I approach single-player games. For multiplayer, I think I want to pursue novel moments, big wild clips, fun reactions, things like this, and thinking back to the past, some of the most fun that I've ever had in gaming in my entire 20-year gaming career was in the first 6 months of Call of Duty Blackout. For whatever reason, getting really funny gameplay clips in Call of Duty Blackout did fantastic on YouTube, even if all of the gameplay around it was terrible. So I got into this schedule of getting up and playing at least 3 hours of Blackout today with the exclusive purpose of going for hilarious clips, and everybody in my friend group was doing the same thing. We didn't give one single flying fudgesicle if we won or lost in that game. That attitude probably helped make Blackout games much less stressful, but what helps the most was the sheer joy, the ultimate satisfaction of getting a big or hilarious grapple hook play in Blackout, or a hilarious underwater play, or stealing the Annihilator from somebody and one-shotting helicopters, or doing all sorts of little tricks and quickscopes, and using all of the mines and equipment and vehicles. There were so many things that happened, and it was such a joy that I could edit it up, polish, maybe add some music, make it a little more cinematic, throw it in a video, and then be able to share it with all of you. And that's kind of the attitude that I'm going to try to carry forward with the finals and with most other multiplayer games you see. I'm going to try not to give any fudge sickles about winning or losing, and instead, I'm going to pursue fun moments and fun clips, just whatever I think is most amusing for me, but of course, with some consideration for the audience and all of you that will hopefully be watching as well. This is also a very helpful attitude for single-player games. If I can find the right level of connection to cinematic experiences and immersion, then I might be able to slip back into single-player again. And the conclusion here at the end of this video is that I might be happier just being casual AF. I can't say the other words here because it'll change my monetization status, but seriously, with the right mindset, there's nothing wrong with being a casual gamer. I don't think I'm ever going to play ranked again in my life, and I don't think I'm ever going to try to get particularly good again, but I am going to try to maximize my own personal fun. Oh, and as a little side note here at the very end of the video, I'm also trying to relearn how I play multiplayer games. This is a little bit of a teaser for what is likely the next finals video, but it's going to be about accessibility and weapon choices. Basically, my hands are so messed up and my mouse space is really tiny here on the gaming bed. There isn't a world where my aim is ever going to be particularly good, but like in OverWatch, in the finals here, I don't have to play hit scan or aim dependent characters. I could play flamethrower or grenade launcher or weapons that are much less precise so that I could find a way to build classes that allow me to contribute to my team without actually having to do a lot of precise aiming. So that's kind of like a weird disability or accessibility focused in-depth episode I'm playing with. That'll probably be my next finals project, and maybe I'll even discover something fun. But I wanted to say thank you to all of you watching this video. I appreciate your support and continued patronage here. And also want to give a shout out thank you to the Embark team that unlocked my account, so I get to experiment with more weapons now. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.